Here are 7 reasons why tilling your soil actually destroys good soil and how you can bring it back to a good health even once it's been depleted. Now, I was teaching one of our homeschool classes yesterday. My oldest daughter, 6 years old, has what we call farm school. Her and her younger sister, 5 years old, they do their farm school sometimes together. And yesterday's topic was about no-till soil. What is it? What is no-till? And what is tilling? And the negative aspects that you can get from tilling, or just, in other words, degrading your soil. Now, I thought it was a very good topic for young kids to understand this, just some of these basics of agronomy and agrology, but I thought it was also a really good topic to discuss here on my YouTube channel. So let's get into the 7 ways that tilling your soil will actually cause it to be reduced in productivity and fertility, and how to resurrect it once it's been reduced like that. The first thing that tillage does, once you take a piece of virgin soil and you till it, you reduce its drainage. All right, you reduced the drainage when you tilled it. That is, now the soil is not going to dry out well. That means you can't get tractors or vehicles through that soil if it's just a little bit wet. It just gets mucky and muddy, and you will... My neighbor out here sunk a tractor in his field a few years ago. It was not good drainage in that field, even though we're on the high side of town and there's 50% sand in the soil. When you till, you reduce drainage. When you till, you reduce what I call the soil sponge, and that is the aggregate function or the absorption function of the soil, also called the water holding capacity. So you reduced the water holding capacity of your soil, and you reduce the drainage of your soil when you till it. It's not going to soak in and absorb water. It's not going to hold nearly as much water once you've been tilling your soil. Once you start tilling soil, that soil is going to now be prone to compaction. Tilling allows for soil compaction. Tilling allows soil compaction, and it does that by destroying the structure of the soil. These first 3 things, reduced drainage, reduced water holding capacity, and allowing soil compaction, are all part of the same function being degraded, and that is soil aggregate. Soil aggregate is a conditioner of sorts for your soil. It is a quality and a level of activity of this conditioner of your soil that only comes from healthy soil microbiology. And what it does is it loosens and breaks up your soil, and it adds a lot of fluff, it adds air, it adds a lot of drainage ability, it adds a lot of water absorbing ability, and it keeps your soil more sponge-like so it doesn't compact down. When it gets stepped on or squished down, it fluffs back up. That is your anti-compaction, your increased drainage, your water holding capability. When you till the soil, that is the first thing you destroy. Going further than that, when you till the soil, you speed the decomposition of organic matter. Now remember, your organic matter, that's basically, it's your compost or your humus in the soil. That's the good stuff. That's what your soil needs. Most people realize black soil is fertile soil. Naturally, it just is. That's your organic matter. Organic matter decomposes over time, breaks down by microbes and fungus into plant usable foods. When you are breaking it down too fast, now you're not going to be able to replenish it as quickly as it's breaking down, and you are going to lose that organic good black part of your dirt. So you speed the organic decomposition when you till. You can, even something as simple as tilling in the stubble from a crop, you can lose 2 to 3 times as much organic matter from the tilling as you're actually adding when you're tilling it in. Tilling destroys that, and it does it by aerating the soil more so that the bacteria, these oxygen-loving bacteria in the soil, which usually are acting very slowly, it's so much more fluffed up for a short time that those bacteria go crazy decomposing everything, and you lose out on a lot of that organic matter, the leftover stubble, the leaf litter, the stuff that would be a nice low mulch cover, and the compost in the soil. It degrades quicker than it goes down. Tilling also increases topsoil erosion. Tilling causes increased erosion because you're breaking up that soil structure, that aggregate. I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. That aggregate is what holds soil together, apart from plants being grown in the soil that also hold it together. It's that aggregate which acts like an organic bioglue that holds clumps of soil together in kind of a fluffy manner. When you till, you increase the erosion, both wind and rain erosion of your topsoil. And I've seen fields that can lose an inch of topsoil in a year from wind and rain. And when you're talking like that, most fields only have 4 to 6 inches of real decent good topsoil. So if you lose an inch, you lost a lot of your fertility. When you till, you have habitat loss of bugs and beneficial microbes. That means you're going to have less bugs and microbes because you've destroyed their habitat. These bugs and microbes that are out there in good soil, almost every one of them is insanely beneficial, and they really help the soil to become healthier and your plants to grow with more vigor. It makes your soil more fertile. But when you don't have the habitat, that is natural acclimated layers within your soil of super topsoil, a little bit lower of a little less oxygen. You have these multiple layers that naturally accumulate within the first 6 to 7 inches of your soil, and every layer is a different microclimate, microhabitat for these different bugs and microorganisms. And when we till that, we churn it all up, so now there's one layer of just mediocre topsoil, and we've destroyed the vast majority of the habitat for all of the good bugs and microbes in the soil. And the last thing that we get, which is the result of all of this combined, is depleted soil. Tilling causes depleted soils. It is a known fact. We know it. Sometimes it's hard to work around, but there are some great options. If we're smart, we can do things other than tilling all the time, and we can still come out ahead. So this is what the issue is with tilling, with the last few hundred years really in agriculture for the most part, that we have come up with is this here. This tilling procedure and processes. We till before and after each harvest. Some people till more than that. Till for weed control even during harvests. It causes these, the more you till, the more quickly all of these functions are eroded and degraded, and the negative functions are increased. So tilling destroys soil, and that's how.